green is fine day.
Okay. He does the wind wasn't blowing.
Well, it's not blowing near as hard as it was. Oh, good Lord.
Is that right?
Your son asked where you were.
Oh, he knew I wasn't going to start.
He was 50 yards.
I said, I know what all those meetings are like. Not that I wouldn't have learned anything I didn't. Did you have a good meeting?
Oh, yeah.
Very good.
That's good.
Yeah, there was some good information, stuff about, there's a house bill that affects the way, make notes, the way drugs are reimbursed and how that affects the county. So that was really good.
He said there are a lot of people.
Yeah.
He said, yeah, I know some clerks too because they pay bills and they call too.
Hey, Christie.
Good morning.
How did it go Friday?
Good.
Think it's doable?
Yeah, they were gonna get a bid and get it back to us.
That's for everything that they need.
Yeah, and Amy came over and we talked through where she wanted it, how she wanted it. Hi, Elmer.
Hey, Elmer.
Good morning, Dave there. She knows more about it than probably me and Jack put together.
Yeah. And so, yeah, we talked through it and thanks.
What time that guy show up?
Oh, they were here at 10.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, right at 10.
He,
How are you?
20 minutes to stop. Then we'll go have coffee. There he is, Mark.
But no,
Good, how are you doing?
Good.
I think we'll see what they come up with and where they're at, but, and I told them that they could possibly provide, some new equipment too some point, later on down the road. If they wanted to bid new equipment and Amy talked through what they needed, we could separate the two out, new equipment plus installation, what that looks like.
Good deal.
Yep.
Was there somebody up there working Sunday?
Huh?
Was there somebody up there working
Terry's
Sunday?
always in here on Sunday.
No, I mean like, sewer. I see a bunch of trucks parked out there, I didn't know if they were ours or, okay.
No. They probably over there having lunch
Must have been,
for drinks.
must have been. One of the three, right?
Huh?
One of the three,
Yeah.
after the drinks.
You said you was here Sunday, you get some extra money that way.
Terry's always here on Sunday. And I'm here 3 times Saturdays. And let little girls in, stay warm for the little fans. Her music on, her music off.
He does have a soft heart, he just doesn't want people to know that.
And I have a smart card because I sit right here and right there and right there and watch the prayer 3 times. And everybody else is free.
Yeah.
It's just a copy of the paper.
Oh.
Elmer, no coffee this morning?
I've been there once. I'll be here about 10 o'clock to go have coffee again. My wife had a dentist appointment this morning, she just called me, said she's on her way to meet us, so. I went up, and left my last dollar up there in the treasurer's office.
Not hard to do, is it?
No, it's not.
One of the things we could do is take up a donation for you to get you a different hat.
Oh no, that's a great hat. Great hat.
I wear this in the morning just for Alan Arnold, because he's a K-State guy. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, how are you?
Yeah, how are you doing?
Good.
No, my granddaughter gave me this for Father's Day last summer, so I have to wear it once in a while anyway.
There you go.
Your first LAPC meeting with Vaguaries is March the 10th.
Not till March the 10th.
I'm going, Mark.
We had one last week. It was
Good.
my last one, and so
Okay.
the first quarter one of next
Where
year,
did they meet at?
just next door.
Oh. March 10th. Thank
She could grab,
you. In the evening,
yeah,
during the day?
we usually meet like at 10 o'clock. She sent out messages ahead of time, but I was like, tell you.
She knows that I'm gonna be
She does. Yeah, she big crowd up there. That's right. Yeah, you don't hear Arnold. She's with the sheriff's office, she lives up there. She's with the American Red Cross.
Oh.
And anyway, they brought her a big van
Okay.
of stuff last week. It was last month.
So they, what do you normally buy?
Morning.
Morning.
You know, she just has a great community.
Happy Monday.
Yeah, representatives from the hospital, from down there, just different ones, and in the ambulance service.
Yeah, cool.
Second Carolina comes with the Red Cross.
I got it in my calendar. Morning, Todd.
Good morning.
And they had, like, they had said they had been to the acreage of the Christmas parade, and they said, oh, it's a Saturday, and they did show up, so.
Morning, Todd. Morning. How you doing? It's great.
So this is all.
Well, I forgot one started like 65 for the weekend, so.
Oh, no.
Chilly.
That's not good.
It was hotter than heck in
But,
it was hotter than heck in Oh, Mary, did you usually
okay. Yeah. I was upstairs, I shouldn't have been.
We changed the lighting in a little bit, so it shows up. Added transfer, the transfer that comes from general, so, I'm hoping she gets enough money on that for this,
Yeah.
but if I need to, I need to
Yeah.
transfer it. So,
Okay.
I just wanna make sure it's okay with it. Diana Keith will not be here today, she's on your agenda, she said she'll be next Monday. She wasn't able to make it today.
Or she would.
Okay.
Wait, period?
No, over at, north of Benson.
Diane.
That was, yeah,
Do you know what the road concern?
that was the one I was telling you about, well, I'll call, you know, that meeting. This, what would you,
Sheriff's Department is making an increase.
Just what?
That'll be the increase.
Okay, I was gonna ask as soon as we got started, because that's higher than.
morning.
Good morning.
Thank you.
So I just got that in last week while I was in there in Wichita, so,
Yeah, I sent it to her last week.
okay, perfect, thank you.
She's like,
All right, at 9 o'clock, we'll be to the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented with the correction taking Diane Keith off the agenda.
Second.
Okay, so probably moved and seconded to approve the agenda as written with corrections. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you. Okay, we have we talked last week about doing the Christmas ad in the reporter, and they want to know if we want to do the New Year's one also. And I think we did that last year. I'm perfectly fine with that. So it'd be $27 a piece for each of us as we paid that personally rather than taking it out of county funds.
You put the ad.
Yep, right there. So it just says, that we're not taking county funds, we just need general consensus that we're going to do it.
$475 Santa letters.
Oh my gosh.
That's a lot.
I'm still trying to get more.
That would be a big paper.
It'll be a big paper.
I agree.
Linda?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we both have.
Okay, perfect. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. I just can't tell them that.
Okay, we have a Christmas card here from the sheriff and his staff at the sheriff's office. We also have a letter from Hoyt Rural Fire Department number 3 requesting support for their pancake breakfast fundraiser at the station in the spring. I don't know that we've done that before. Okay, Chris says no, we have not done that.
Doesn't sound,
What's that?
that doesn't sound.
I didn't think it did.
Number 3 is what?
Hoyt,
Point.
they're requesting support for their annual fundraising breakfast. And I don't think we've ever done that before. Okay.
Yeah, not to my knowledge, because we don't do it for any of the others.
Yeah.
And we can all show up and
Eat.
free will donation.
Yeah. And what changes were made on the payroll plan, Kristen?
Just the ones for Kate's office.
Okay. Because we'd already changed the one for Road and Bridge, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
They just want a $20 donation.
Huh?
They just want a $20 donation. This is just this have it? Or
Yeah,
is
it's just what you guys have.
Okay.
Okay.
It's everything we've gone over.
I think they're just inviting us to it.
I kind of think that too.
I don't think they're asking for a donation. I think they're just inviting the commissioner to do it.
Hey, will you actually print me off the list, the contact list, like for the,
Oh, I've got that ready to,
okay.
yeah, we got that updated.
It was emailed, but I can have just a copy of it. Hopefully you don't have to use it.
All right, adjust the tax abatements here.
The reason I say that is because we don't deduct taxes.
Yeah, I think it's more of a,
Invitation is saved in the spring. So.
yeah.
When was that? Pancake feast celebration.
I don't think it need a date.
Those, the photos.
Perfect. We won't have to do that.
Yeah.
Anything in for? That's good?
It's higher than it's ever been, but she said the sheriff's office.
Gotcha.
Down there, make sure you tell me, because she knows when it will last.
Trying to keep track.
You have mileage sheets down here.
Oh, not that it makes any difference, but we scheduled that, dinner afterward with our accountants. That's on National State.
Oh, that is on that one,
That's what it looked like to me when I was putting it on a permanent calendar, so. It's,
I'll look at that.
but I bring it to your attention, I think it is.
Morning, guys.
Where are you guys? Gonna get warm. I feel
Lynn's already almost cooked along. We're good.
sure.
Blizzard Bill said 50 degrees tomorrow, 52 on Wednesday, and 50 on Thursday.
I'll take it.
Ready for all the sick kids running around.
That's right.
a chance to respond to it yet, but we can send it just, but thank you.
All right, 9:15. How you guys doing today? Good. Good.
Okay, to remind you guys, we got our holiday dinner Friday, 12 o'clock. Well, you guys walk back and check her back. Got a confirmation the other day on our federal exchange money off the FAS routes that, it's in process, so there should be some check soon, is what they said. $79,914.22.
And that will be returned to which account?
That will go back to the bridge.
But in gravel or under,
There's actually an income number for that just offsets the budget balance. All the income items that sitting out there to use in whatever.
Any of the funds that, whether it's gravel tubes, anything. Okay.
So do we specifically use that on FAS routes, or is that what it's supposed to go for?
If you wait and get the 100%, I believe it has to go for FAS routes. If you do the 90-10 thing, where we get 90% for anything, you can use it for anything.
Okay.
Vance Brothers were down at the conference the other day. They have some product they're wanting us to see, so they're supposed to be out tomorrow around 1:30. Keith is wanting to come out for that also whenever they come. So if anybody else wants to.
Basically, it's a product that they can level roads, chip and seal roads with, before, all you're doing is covering up, if there's a hump there, it will just, chip and seal will just follow that same impression. But instead of having to do a lot of patchwork before, this is a box type device, it fills up, it floats it, and you end up with a level surface with the grade.
So
So,
they'll be here tomorrow, so if anybody else wants
Where are you gonna look at?
to. He's going to meet us at the shop, but we're going to go down to K Road. On 16.
And what time was that?
He said either 1 or 1:30.
Okay.
He said he's got some stuff up in Brown County he's doing tomorrow. And he'll get with me to confirm the time for sure.
And Nemaha County, if I understood correctly, has used this product already?
Not 100%. I
I don't think
going.
Omaha
Or they're
has.
just looking at it?
They're gonna go up and
Okay.
they're gonna do some work for them this year.
So is it really new?
No, one gentleman, I can't remember what county he was from, I think they're having 20 miles done this year, and they've been getting 8 years out of it, so it's not a new product. It's
I think
just
down
something
south,
new
wasn't it?
it's just something new that Vance Brothers, I think, have taken on.
I think it was down south, one of the southern counties, I believe.
I don't
But
remember.
I can't remember either, so.
Okay. We're working on our inventory out there too. We've got the culverts already done, got the signs done, the posts done, all counted for the inventory. So, just got the vehicles and the stuff at the shop. Did we ever decide on Gary on uniforms? Whether you're paid for this year or not get paid for this year, or we got that?
I don't think we ever finished discussing for this year. If he has not gotten any uniforms for the year, then I'm fine with going ahead and doing it.
Yes.
Yeah. Because and I'm correct now, he did not get any uniforms the whole year, correct? Okay. And I believe that, so I would go ahead and say, I'd entertain a motion to approve,
Well, I mean,
or do you already have money there?
how much money are you talking?
$750.
It's something you can,
Okay.
it's just a general consensus, I think, more for
So-
our group.
Yeah, we can take it out of our uniform budget because we got quite a bit of money.
Okay. So go ahead and do that, and then I still believe that paying quarterly for the others is the way to go on that. So,
That's something just with marriage and receiver.
because Mary said it wouldn't be any problem doing it quarterly, correct? Okay. And that would be for the 3 individuals in the shop. Okay.
A1 Security, I think they turned that over to Todd here last week. You know, that security system we got there, we've been trying to get out of it for the past couple of years. And on budget, we've got money there for it for this coming year. So sent them the letters again, and they sent us a bill saying that we need to pay almost $1,000 to get out of the contract.
I thought we had that straightened out and done and finished, so this year was the last year.
I thought so too. But we got stuff there in the email the other day. So we're going to go to this man.
Okay.
Like I said, we've got documentation.
The hammer.
letters and things we sent, almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
About getting out.
And the first time we missed the deadline by 3 days or something like that, and then I thought we had it last year, and now they're sending us, okay, we'll figure it out.
Okay, stuff for shop there, we have 2 of the Mack trucks that have recalls on them. We got the one down and back, and the other one, it's a little short, stubby one they call it, is down there now. Recall. Last week, I don't know, she really wanted to get through all these, or just sort of copy that she has. These are the places where we took rocks and spotted here and there.
So I just make a copy and I'm fine with that.
It's like 24 different places we took rocks. We hauled some oversized rock down there between D and E. So we got that picked up. Got a bridge, almost put it around. T and 166, we're doing some ditching right there at that intersection. There's a spot there for all holding water, so we're working on that. We'll try to finish that up today. There's one spot right there that's still on T, it's kind of wet, so try to let that dry a little bit before we finish that up. 246 bridge project in J2 down here. We're getting close to wrapping that up. We went in and hauled 24 truckloads of dirt that was hauled out there last week just to get it out there. And so we got that stored away for use and abuse. This week, we got 190 and X Road, the new house is going in down there. We've got an issue with the culvert being in the wrong place. We're going to go in and do that ditching this week. It's dry enough. And do out in that culvert. It's a spot area, so it's work. That's all I have.
So, 134th Road and U Road, when you are eastbound and pull up to that intersection, the brush on the north side of that bridge impedes your vision to the southbound traffic. Now would be a great time to cut that just because the leaves on and you can go in there, there's a creek right there. I think you have to haul it off. You can cut it, just lay it right there. There are a bunch of trees, look like willow type stuff, not that big around. But yeah, 134 and U on the north side of the road there. That bridge kind of sits in there at an angle. Yeah, just use your best judgment when you're sitting at the stop sign. Look to the north and cut till you can see clear view. that type of thing. And then there are several spots on 134th down there that have been scarified out.
Yeah, I talked to Jason the other day about that.
Now they need to be scarified again because they're holding water. And then gravel put in those.
Yeah, I talked Friday on that already.
Thank you, I appreciate that. What about on V4 Road over there? Did we do anything, kind of the same situation last week? Is that on, would that be on here?
V4 118.
114.
There's a V4 118.
114, 2 loads, okay, yeah. V4 to 118. I don't know,
That was Jason there.
yeah. Okay.
Were you saying V4 and 214?
No, 114. That area, both directions, I had gotten a video from an individual who lived over there. And driving down the road, it looked like we were driving off into a big pool of water and it covered the windshield. And so it's another one of those places that's been scarified. But when you do that, you got to add half a load in those. Because the first rain is going to make it just a big hole. Okay. Is Scott aware of the Diane Keith and what her situation is?
That was the X to 198, 206, and then hopefully he went out on 206 because that's where her house is back here. That is where I talked to him last week about, like, we got this, the loads on there on 198, 206. 206, her husband has medical problems, he's on the medical list, and she was very pleased with the last snow that Ethan had already got cleared off before she called me that morning and so on and so forth. But she said with the last rains that there was on 206 right there, it was pretty bad, he couldn't really get through. So, and I don't know if some of the loads went on 206 or it was just X to 198 to 206. So we might need to double check to make sure that 206 got hit.
Yep.
Like I say, she was very pleased that the roads had already been graded, since her husband does have is on the medical list with you guys, and so it's already done. Only other thing we got, have you gotten anything back from the landowners on H Road that were wanting to close, the two roads that were wanting to close?
I spoke with them, I couldn't, what was that? You said, did you need something notarized or something, right?
I think it'd be better if we had something notarized in writing.
Saying it's okay?
Yep, from the affected landowners.
Because they were wanting to put gates up.
Right.
And I want to make sure that all landowners affected are okay with putting gates up. They cannot put padlocks on them, but they can put the gates up. I don't have a problem with that. I just want something in writing from each landowner that is affected that they're okay with the gates going up. Because,
Right.
just say somebody coming in and saying, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I couldn't get to my farm, whatever. If we can have that on file, then I'm fine with going ahead and passing this closing. Or,
Yeah, so we need we would like that by next week if we can get it, because we have a resolution here ready to go, so.
and they can, if they needed somebody to attest it, they can be done in the clerk's office.
Others, if we get notarized, they're gonna have to come up here, or like, all notary with me.
Is anybody in your office?
You know, I think
just Mary is.
I don't know if Mary is.
You would probably want to have another receipt. We can do it, but it's going to be receipt.
Can she use yours, or because she is a notary,
She should have her own statement.
so can she use it? And then that may be the simplest path, at least through this, just take her with you. Get it done right then and there.
All right, so we'll revisit that next week.
Okay.
Go from there, so we'll have some back to that. All right. Anything else? All right.
Things going good, and feel like you're starting to kind of get to know guys and gals, and
Yeah, we're only been here 2 weeks, so it's moving along.
yeah.
I'm glad.
All right,
And that sounds so good.
Okay. We will
perfect.
see you Tuesday then.
Thank you. Oh, hey, Scott. One thing. Bob Miller called me while I was down at the convention, and for some reason he'd heard that we weren't going to do chip and seal for 10 years. I said, no, that's not the case. So, but he said, can I go around and show you some chip and seal roads that are going to need some attention? I said, sure, not a problem.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I'll
we
give
got a
you
lot of that are blown out.
Yeah.
E road, I think we did it. I think we did it last year, but it's got some blowouts.
Yeah.
We're starting to watch a few blowouts.
So I'm going to get with him. He's going to take me around, show me some roads, so we
Yeah.
make some notes and see if we can get some progress done on it. So
Basically,
I just want to let you know
basically
that.
where that came from was we're on a 5-year rotation.
Yeah.
And now we're looking at, skipping a year here and there. That's basically on a 10-year rotation, so.
So, all right, sounds good. I just want to let you know that.
Okay,
Thank you.
no problem.
Yeah.
I take care.
You need to have that signed. It's a transfer of funds resolution. Because I need to amend the elderlies, so I need to have a resolution saying we can transfer funds from county general to the elderly.
Okay, cross that number off that one, we got something over there. Or over here, because I think that's the same number here. Yeah, is that 25 there also? That's 24, okay. All right, perfect. Okay, so I have a resolution, whereas the Board of County Commissioners, Jackson County, Kansas, is authorized by and pursuant to KSA 19-2678 to make orders concerning the transfer of payment for programs for the aging out of county general fund to the elderly fund. So I would entertain a motion to approve this resolution.
And how much was she over budget?
I amended it for 15,000.
Okay, and has there been a conversation with her? Either?
She hasn't gotten some of her state funding.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And that state funding's coming in,
She doesn't know she's gonna have it before the end of the year. So just to be on the safe side, I went ahead and amended
and so when that state funding comes in, it'll go back into our general fund, she'll transfer it back. Thank you. Appreciate the explanation. I move we approve resolution 2025-25.
There's a second.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded to approve resolution 2025-25, amending the budget for the elderly. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carried. You're welcome.
I do have a correction on the minutes that I'd like noted.
Okay.
So, second page, paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4, discussion about the, having the 26th of December off. My objection to having the 26th off is because we had already given the 24th off in June when we set this schedule, which was an extra day. If we wanted the Friday off, we would have put that in. That's my objection to that.
So did you meet with the outfit that was going to be in Utah County in the small boardroom last week?
Yes,
And how'd that go?
really good. They're going to give us a bid. I asked them to break it out in two different bids. New equipment per Amy, what she needs in installation, and then just moving the existing equipment that we have right now.
Okay.
And so they'll break that out in two different bids, what's it going to cost to transfer across and go from there.
All right, seemed like it's going to be a big deal, or? Okay. All right, sounds good. We'll look forward to getting those bids in.
Yep. They will need our name and contact person from our IT department out of Kansas City. Just to make everything work together, they want to touch base with them before they move stuff. And so if you can get that to me, I will forward that on to them. You have, I guess, do we have a few more minutes of conversation?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I would like, if you guys are open to the conversation early in January, or sometime in January, February, that time frame, first 6 weeks, to begin a discussion on looking at healthcare. I believe there's got to be better way for us to control the cost of healthcare with other agencies. So I'd like to, one is, I have this card at home, gentleman I talked to, that actually they're part of the Kansas Association of School Boards, an offshoot of that are providing insurance. They were there, and then there's another one, CPM, I think is what it is, Topeka. They were a smaller company that's been bought up by a larger company, and they offer a lot more cost savings, especially ways for us to receive the benefits of lowered costs for prescriptions. So I'd at least like to listen to some folks and have that conversation, because health insurance is one of our largest
Oh, yeah.
budget
I would
items.
agree on that. I think one of the biggest things that we need to be wary of when we do start these discussions is have these folks be very, very transparent in the what the deductibles are, because a lot of times it looks good to have the lower cost up front, but then the deductibles that get passed on to the employees is not good. So we need to be very careful of that, and wary of that. And
Those are good questions to ask each one of them, and so just as, after the first year, if we want to set up appointments to have these folks come in and sit down in front of us. And part of it is you have a conversation, but then they also need the opportunity to look, and they'll need authorization to look at our current information.
Right.
So
Is our state contract up this year?
in 26, I thought.
Is it? Okay, so, yeah.
This is the third year.
We
You
need
need
to
to start
curve
early,
on that.
because when you get too late, it's too late to do anything.
Correct. That's why
we need to get ahead of the curve on that.
into January, if we can begin those discussions, it'd be good, because I think there's some real opportunity to save. And I get it, everybody, employees who use the health insurance, they like the name Blue Cross and Blue Shield, but we also have a responsibility to the taxpayers to make sure that we're finding good health insurance, but yet at a reasonable rate.
Right. I just want, like I said, I just want to be careful that we're looking at the big picture, not just looking at the initial cost for us and then passing more cost on to the, to the employees. Because that's where a lot of the a lot of the bad things happens when you do pass those huge deductibles on to the employees. So I just want to be wary of that, make sure that we're doing the right thing.
And wasn't there a company that Barry talked about too, that you
Yes.
that's in Kansas City?
Yes.
Christie, I'd like to have Mary involved in
Yes.
each one of those discussions, so just whenever we plan that, if you can carve out some time for her to be here.
That's already.
So in the minutes today, then you do have that commissioners are going to pay personally for the recorder ads, okay? Because in here we talked about doing it out of the community fund, so I just want to make sure that it's going to be reflected differently today. All right, so is everybody read their minutes?
Yeah.
For December 8th? Okay, then I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes of December 8th with corrections.
Somebody.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the minutes of December 8th, 2025 with corrections. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. And just so everybody remembers, we do have the meeting with Adrian tonight, Adrian Township tonight here at 6 o'clock. That's you too.
Tom Hoffman had called in and asked us to get some figures for him. So just so everyone's on the same page, there's the copies of what we'll
Thank you.
have. Our vendors have to go in and create a report.
I'm just gonna have that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So great. I didn't have any kind of report that I could run that would give me anything. You guys might want to discuss that sales tax that's coming up, because looking over some Facebook posts, they're acting like it's a new sales tax. You might want to get it out there that this is something that's already in place, and if it doesn't go through, then we would probably have to raise taxes, but this enables everybody throughout all the counties that shop here. Because what I'm getting off the internet is people think you're going to raise another tax. So just putting that out there.
Yeah, I would say that we'll just, I believe we've already posted it once on our Facebook page. I've talked to a couple of different individuals. I plan on having some town hall type meetings starting in January, some different areas in the county, just to explain it and answer questions about it. Mark has stated that we're going to go around to our cities and go to their meetings and explain it to them. What you could do is put together, and it would be good for even tonight's meeting, is the amount of money that we're generating currently, but what it will generate in addition to in 27.
I would change it just a little bit, the amount of money that the county is getting off of what we're generating currently.
What's the
Well, because we're not getting the full amount.
Right, and
Yeah.
so what we're generating from the 0.4% and where it goes, and in 27, if it's passed, how much will be generated for rock, and be able to not have to increase the rock budget, what that number looks like. So minus the cities receiving their portion, all of it designated for county roads. Based on current sales numbers right now. You Ben. Based on past history, the last 11 months of what we've sold this county, what will it look like in 27? Because I think people will be surprised. Ali, have you done anything?
Not on, well, I think we maybe mentioned something a while back. We did a thing on the hospital tax, which
Right.
might confuse people too, but this vote, well, it has to go to the legislature,
It's already
right?
done.
Oh, it's already done.
Already done.
Is it in a,
Well, they'll vote on it in January when they go to.
Yeah, we'll back.
it's already in a bill or something like that? Or, okay.
Yes.
And I maybe didn't know that part. And then it'll be in the November,
We wanna try to do it in the primary.
okay, you're trying to do it in the primary, and that would be in, that's
August.
August, like the first Tuesday of August, okay.
And do you have?
Because the 4/10
Right, it's,
sunsets next year.
right, because it's, that's the end of 2026.
Yes.
Correct.
So,
And
you, yeah, to go back into effect, yeah,
But we're increasing it by 0.1%.
okay,
And we're designating it for gravel only, which means that the incorporated cities, they receive a portion of that now, they would not.
okay,
But it's a great way to keep property taxes down.
gotcha.
Because gravel is one of our largest expenditures,
And it keeps going up.
and it's gone up twice in 25.
So instead of the 4/10,
It would be a 0.5%,
it would be a 0.5%.
that's correct.
Do you have the bill number that it, or how, I mean, or do you have the wording that's at the state level and how it's worded, or maybe not since?
Should
You're
have.
gonna have to give me a little bit.
You're fine, you're fine, you're fine.
Hey Keith, would you like to trade, we're gonna do a little horse trading here.
For,
Would you like to trade, the custodial staff for noxious weeds? On your call-off sheet.
You're gonna kill.
You already called the sheriff, I mean, you already called road and bridge, so noxious weeds, the same thing.
oh, yes.
But I called the clerk, I'm sure the clerk's gonna tell the custodian, hey, we're
But,
close.
but noxious weed, yeah, just move it over, because Scott's.
That's what I'm saying. So you take noxious weed, because you're gonna call him anyway, and I'll take the custodian, because I'm gonna call Larry.
Gotcha.
We'll
Thank
do a
you.
little horse trading here.
Okay.
Thank you.
And we know, Christie, for sure that like on the news people that these passwords and all this works,
Should be the same.
should be the same, okay.
Of course, last year when we ended up having to do, it took a long time for me to get in.
Yeah, I just say it, one of them, you called for me because I couldn't get,
Yeah, I'll do
I
it.
couldn't get through.
We'll double check.
Okay. I think KSMT was the one that didn't, yeah, couldn't get anything through to me.
And each mill right now is 156?
162.
162.
Oh, no. You're right. 157 for this year, 162 for next year. 57.
157.
Yeah.
For 25.
Yeah,
62.
162, I believe, for 26.
Thank you.
So we still got a few minutes here. Commissioner Kelly and I went to the convention last week and had a lot of good information passed on, a lot of good conversations amongst everybody. It was the 50th anniversary and the biggest one we've ever had, so it was good. We talked and listened to everything from water quality and water problems in the state to insurance to heard a great report from Secretary Reed, Transportation, talking about how they go from pipeline to pipeline to pipeline, get things shoved from one place to the next. Overall, I thought it was another great conference, and KC does a great job putting it on and getting good speakers in there to deal with some of the problems that the counties are seeing. So I think it was good.
Yeah, talking about Secretary Reed, had a conversation with him before the meeting, and really what we're trying to do with the townships is very similar to what the state of Kansas is doing with these consult meetings. And he was excited to hear that we were kind of trying to model after what they're doing and getting input from areas around. He offered his staff to help us with that. If we need, once we get to a point where we believe that people want to do that and have these meetings, then he would be willing to offer some help with us setting that up and kind of fine tuning that a little bit. But basically it gives them right now a 10-year plan, and then they can start to work projects in based on budget, and people have input, so they typically feel better about those projects. It's very similar to the 4-lane project up here on 75 Highway. Started with Mark and I going to those meetings. Mark really, working the individuals to get that put into the pipeline. Therefore, then you have public input, and so they feel better about spending those large amounts of money on those projects. Gives them some ownership of it.
Yeah. Probably my favorite breakout was Secretary Reed, and mentioned that we on the water. She was a state senator, and she is now
She's in charge of the
Governor Kelly after come back and help
special project.
do the special project with water. Yeah, she was doing a bang up job explaining just how the water problems that we're facing in the state are. We face that problem here in northern Jackson County with the water.
Yeah, because the majority of the water in the eastern part of the state, or eastern third of the state, is from runoff.
Yep.
Western 2/3 is from underground aquifers. I thought the work that they're doing on the aquifer was really cool because they're starting to see some large areas build instead of deplete. But here in eastern Kansas with runoff, Kansas River, there's some things that need to be done to maintain those and hold costs down. So
One of the things that she was talking about was the dredging that's going, the It's a new type of dredging that's going on in.
I still didn't buy into that, it just,
I'm still, they're watching it.
The tunnel?
Yeah, I mean, they're injecting
familiar with
water
that?
into the mud flats to
Yeah.
stir it up and supposedly send it on down the river. And I was like, but, okay, so I understand the theory behind that, but you have no real
they're still
practical
working on the evidence.
application that it's gonna send it on down the river to, send it to Kansas and Missouri to Mississippi and on out into the Gulf. I mean, I'm more worried about it getting into the Kansas River and just settling right there then. I mean, that's but they have they're going, she said they're going to watch it very closely because they did it at the end of the summer, in the fall. They're gonna do it again in the spring, and they're gonna do it one more time. They're gonna do it 3 times in there.
Yeah,
See if we can flush some of that.
I'm general counsel for the Kansas River Water Assurance District, which has kind of the stakeholders who are all along the Kansas River. So that has obviously been important because dredging itself is prohibitively expensive. And this is thought of as being the solution to the expense because insultation, that's pretty bad.
Oh, yeah.
It's at 60 to 70%.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Filled in. It's the largest in the state.
Yeah,
If you've had the opportunity to drive 16 over and go across the north end.
It's just mud flats.
Yeah.
And that's basically the one that's had the worst kind of go of it. And the newest reservoir, I don't know what the planning was led to that.
I'm surprised that they didn't put silt ponds ahead of that in areas where.
Well, from what she was saying, if I got it correctly, what she was saying is most of the silt that they're seeing is coming out of Nebraska. Because,
the watershed is.
yeah, it's coming out of Nebraska.
That's why it's all more important to upstream put in watersheds
Yeah.
to capture that. It's a lot easier to dredge a 15-acre pond or lake than it is a tunnel.
So I'm curious to see how that's going to play out, what's going to happen here.
There's a lot of worry about stirring up, contaminants in that water too.
Oh, yeah.
It's Vika and Water One and all that crew are.
I thought it was interesting southwest Kansas, the river coming out of Colorado, they're finding uranium in the water. And it's because of principles or tactics or whatever that Colorado is using, they're recirculating the water before it comes on down. They're having to build large treatment facilities to make uranium.
Well, so you can see the faucet at night. The blood.
Yeah. Oh. All right, it's 10 o'clock. What you got for us, son?
Well, it's been a quiet week. Tax sale, as you know, went forward. Sale confirmation is, I've got the orders in, so as soon as Lisa's good with that, I'll send it out. I didn't hear of any big payments going wrong or anything like that, so I think everybody coded up what they said they would, so we're not having any complications.
Good.
You guys, the county ended up the only bidder on 2 properties, as you saw. They're both in the cities, one here, empty lot, it appears. And so it's the one they had that. And you both have taxes. And one is like 16,000, the other is 22.
So, question, Linda, maybe you can answer this real quick. How does it get that high before we sell it?
Has to be delinquent 3 years.
And so the property tax on that is that much?
Property tax. Well, if nobody pays attention to it and protests it or anything, sometimes property taxes get that high.
And it could have specials on it too.
Could have specials on it.
And stuff like that.
Plus, it would be more than 3 years because we hadn't had a property tax sale for like 5 years. So,
And I know the property here in town has special.
right, that's right. The one here in town has specials on it because it's a city.
Okay, thank you.
That's right.
So, yeah, both of those were ones in, old ones that we had, I don't know about the ones we had,
How about that? One in Holton, they have specials, you're right.
that's kind of the bigger was a double lot, and we had,
So the process for getting rid of those.
well, 6 months after, the confirmation of the sale, the county's able to take open bids for those. The sealed bid process, advertising, there really isn't any particular detail on that, just you can either accept the highest price for that or do another auction sale for highest and best. But that essentially means that you're probably, if they aren't gonna get, if that sale they aren't bringing you, you probably are not gonna get the full amount of taxes.
But you can do an auction versus sealed bid.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the statute, whether you would have to do the sealed bid before you get the auction.
Why would you do both?
I don't know.
Oh.
The statute says what you have to do.
Okay.
But, okay, so with, one here in the city that has specials on it, do you have to go to the city first and ask if they will take those specials off? I mean, I think we can't just,
No, I don't think you can take the specials off, but I
Okay.
also think that they understand that, I think if it's sold, whatever amounts go into the oldest tax first, so they wouldn't get anything on the specials.
okay, I thought one time,
Well, okay, so hypothetically, somebody, we got $22,000 in taxes. So you seal bid it, and somebody's gonna spend $10,000. So, then does that mean that the rest of the taxes are written off?
yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
It's just your only way to get it back on the tax roll.
okay,
yeah, and then, zeros it out, and presumably whoever, if they buy it for 10,000, then they got it tax-free estimate up to that point. And your benefit is you got, I guess, property that will hopefully be used.
Okay.
And not back with the tax on the deal.
yeah, right, yeah, okay.
But I thought some way you had to deal with the city and,
I think they have the right to bid, from remembering people that are this coming out good time before, that they have the right at the last minute to overbid, pay the special and become the buyer. But it's the
I
same
know
kind of deal.
I know one time we had specials in Denison and I think the attorney went to Denison and said, will you take the specials off so we can, take whatever.
So what are these specials that you're talking about?
Like mowing and,
Cleanup,
cleanup.
sewer, trash.
Yeah, but
Okay,
probably two different ones. You have your nuisance abatement cost. The other one would be actual, special assessment districts. They did the road, redid the road, and it cost so much, so they assessed it against each landowner in proportion.
It's usually when they're vacant, it's like the city will go in and mow or something and
Well, this one has 9 years of unpaid taxes.
So if it gets sold, what happened in 21? That was the last tax that was 21. You got it?
That's one of the, maybe it was on.
so it might have just missed.
I guess my thought is, how do we have the conversation with the treasurer to make sure that we don't have just a single lot building that much that nobody's gonna buy it? How do we,
that lot there, and I specifically note this, there was a house on it and, got torn down in, what, 21, something like that?
I say, because the city can get it.
If they tore it in half, that's a big cost.
Right, the city can get it. So it had, a lot of money on it for cleanup and stuff.
so, again, so that we don't have these properties going years and years and years, how do we make sure that that's not being missed?
We typically, I mean, they have to be 3 years delinquent, but typically, you know, if you could have a tax sale every 2 years, but nothing gets the attorneys, but it takes a long time
Yeah,
to get a tax sale going because you have to have your abstractors do all that work first. It takes how many days that they have to send stuff out to people that money's owed to. It's just a long process.
Right, but this one missed almost 5 years ago.
Right.
well, I think
It was delinquent then.
yeah, but if we did it in 21, that's probably the trick, is that it had taxes against it as a residence probably, which means it had a higher rate.
And
Right?
you know, in this one, you know, I started back when Lee was here. And it's just taking time.
I think Lee finished up in 21.
Lee did do that one,
Yeah.
yes. He came on board right about the time we were doing that tax sale.
Well, I think we didn't have any cleanings before the actual sale of the file, so I'm assuming Hardwick, I think that was done by the person before him.
Right, Alex had done it,
Yeah,
And-
started it.
and Lee finished it up.
Okay. Now, I don't know what happened with that, if that property was on it or not. What you have is you have property with a house on it, it's probably a higher assessed value than the house is torn down. The cost of tearing down the house is placed against the property. And then
Which was done by the city.
yeah, so the city paid,
See, that's why I think the city will want their money.
yeah, and that's gonna be a
Might have to check into that.
And what we could do, we could also, you could transfer it to the city, and they might wanna have it in like, if they have a land bank, or they have some way to recoup it themselves too, they could do that.
Yeah, the cleanup on that in 20 was 9,120.
It was in 20.
Yes, so that,
So that was probably the
I
last
think the
question.
city will want their money.
But we're the first lien holder, the way I understand it, right?
Well, it's all tax, meaning they achieve our lien position, meaning they're like us,
They've attached it to that.
yeah,
property.
property.
So, but explain that in layman terms, because if we sell it and get $10,000 for it, and they owe $11,000 in property tax, we're paid first or we're not? Or we
So I
split?
think we're paid in proportion to, well, I think it'll be the oldest taxes first. If that doesn't use up, then it's proportional after, it would be like, say it's $1,000 a year, and then $9,000, and you got $5,000.
And then they could get a portion.
They get like $3,000 or
She
something.
distributed to all the taxing units, oldest one first.
Yeah, and then if it doesn't cover whatever else, then they gotta write it off.
Okay.
Which again, may be why they may wanna put it in the land bank in return for us to make a deal with them.
So what would that deal look like? They would pay us for their.
Well, I mean, I think they have to take a cold eye look at it, but I mean, at the point at which, for us, if they paid off all taxes that were due before they tore the place down, then we're no worse off technically, because we have to kind of hook to go over, because now you're talking about that, in that example, it's $14,000 bid before you guys see the next dollar, right?
I'm guessing they'll just want rid of it because it's not really a piece of property that's gonna do any good.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a call for that, but that's kind of the drill right now, is we'll go through the process of issuing sheriff's deeds to everybody who purchased, and money is apparently with the district court clerk and the order, and then follow to distribute funds to the treasurer, so. The ones that were sold, they were all sold obviously above taxes, we'll get those back. The only other thing I think is that I had come up with something with Kate too, because
She's supposed to be down here.
yeah, so it might be just good to wait for her about communication about agricultural zoning.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that.
Keith, Aaron should be emailing me the contact information for any of that, please.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Chris.
Same to
See you, over.
Bye.
Have a good, buddy.
Tell the fellas at coffee I said hi.
Is he still crossing Burnett's Brook? Is he still?
No,
No, okay. I knew he used to, I didn't know he still did.
no, he's not there anymore. Dennis Harlan is over on the north side,
Okay,
and Dave Snyder's over on the 16th.
okay.
And there's nobody on Sunday Talk, so. Hi, Kate. How are you today? Great.
Statements, it's all this is doing that nice. Okay.
The elevation certificate is something that needs to be done by the surveyor. The original elevation certificate that was done was not, the elevation was not a certificate, it was just a map with some elevations on it. So, any surveyor would be willing to fill out that elevation certificate. But that would need to be done, and then that document.
Something.
We were going to discuss penalties and all of that too. Which we discussed weeks ago, but it never really came up with anything.
Well, yeah, is that, this isn't like some others where they're not in the floodplain and they just built a structure that was tiny, right? And you guys are letting them get a new permit or
No,
this
this is the discussion on
Yeah.
that and how we.
Yeah, this is different in the sense that this is large structure directly in the floodplain, it should never be built.
Right.
It was trying to get around it, so I see what you're saying.
What are we,
We're just seeing if there's a penalty that would be imposed. You generally waive, I mean, if they pay the, if it's just a building, it's not a floodplain, it's a regular building, and they then come back and they haven't got permitted, they're letting them get a permit. It's the rest of the cost, right? That's kind of, that is deferred. Right. But I guess, is that, I'm assuming you don't want to do that here. Verbatim.
No,
not without proof that they've elevated it to meet the floodplain regulations? I thought,
Well, that was the one
Yeah,
that had the appeals, and we
right,
got a certificate or a document for wet flood proofing to have that certified by an engineer.
has that been done?
Yeah, I got that.
We gotta get,
You all have that in your packet that I
Okay.
handed you.
well, it's not complete yet, right? I mean, they've gotta get-
No, he hasn't, this is just what I put together. That an elevation certificate would need to be done along with that wet flood proofing document would have to be filled out and signed off by an engineer.
Okay.
Once that wet flood proofing,
So then so your question is then once that's all done,
Say he gets it all done, he's covered, the water's not fixed the problem technically, but he's done it after the fact.
then he can apply for a building permit with the standard fee or penalty fee for not filling it out in a timely fashion.
well, in that case, if he's supposed to make it just exclusively an ag building, right? That's part of the thing. So if it's an ag building, there would be no fee for a building permit.
But it wasn't an ag building when he built it.
Right, so it's discussing what kind of penalty, what we're gonna do on that.
Yeah, I think you've gotta have something here, because you have to kind of drag him back into the sunlight. More than just, well, you corrected his plants. I mean, there's room for that, I understand. I mean, like you said, this wasn't an agricultural building, at least in my mind at the start.
Right, so whatever the standard building fee for a commercial building where they were building furniture and marketing it, whatever that is, that's what the fee would be. I mean, plus,
The double,
yeah, the double.
yeah.
Well, but there's also, I mean, stay here out of compliance is a second violation. So you can assess technically the penalty of the day you can apply. And, the meaning being is that you can see some oversights here, but somebody can't think of building something that size and think, well, I don't need to do it. Right, there's a difference between that and just dropping a, Home Depot shed on the backyard.
Right, so you're saying the penalty needs to be stiff enough to make sure that people aren't doing this in the future.
Yeah, and I don't know if you wanna just, I mean, until he's complied, nothing's done, but that to me is the question, is whether
So what are our regulations? Because I don't want this to be just an arbitrary, we pick a number. What do our regulations say that we have the authority to do? And that is to,
Double the fee,
which would be,
don't know, because he hasn't turned in what it costs to build the structure and all that.
and how are you requiring him to determine what it would cost?
Well, he would have to give us like a list of his building materials that he put into it.
But if most of those were donated, or you got it for free, he just needs to assess a value. We're not requiring him to go to Menards or Home Depot and get current prices and those types of things. If he had that material, he just needs to be able to, we're gonna allow
That
him
would include the concrete work as well.
to include concrete work. So if he said, I got $12,000 in lumber and I got $12,000 in concrete,
So whatever that fee would be for that amount,
Gotcha.
it would be
Okay.
double that.
it would be double that.
So one of my questions is what floodproofing that an engineer has to pass on? Number one, who sends out the engineer? Him?
He would pay for that,
He would pay for that.
yes.
But is it an engineer of our choosing?
It just has to be a professional engineer.
It just has to be a PD. I have no problem with that. If they have a professional license, I have no problem with that.
I do in a certain area that, I won't even go on with that, never mind.
I don't,
I'm
because
not-
I'm not gonna question somebody's professional license. And if they're putting their name on it, their stamp on it,
Sure.
then I'm gonna honor that.
and there's a regulatory body.
That's exactly right. So
Yeah.
I don't,
Okay, so it's going to be an ag building now, correct?
That's what it's
Who's
supposed to
gonna go out and do the inspections on it? Is that your office gonna do the inspections on it? I mean, haven't we said that you guys don't go out and inspect? So who's gonna actually go out and inspect and make sure that this stuff is taken out, gone completely away from building? And never put back? How do we keep that?
It would be the typical every 6 years when we go out to do the 17% inspection, right? I guess if we notice that there seems to be more commercial activity or just personal, then we can call it to the table again and say, hey, this is an issue.
And that's what bothers me. It really does.
but we don't do that kind of inspection. We don't go north of Holton up here, and we don't
Then, yeah, and I agree.
We don't go inspect anybody else.
No.
So I don't want this board directing Kate's office to do
No.
something that we wouldn't do for anybody else.
But what I'm saying is, I wanna make sure that it's supposed to be an ag building, so on the initial, does Kate's office go inspect it to make sure that all the woodworking stuff has gone out of the building
You
and?
normally do not go inside the buildings, correct?
We would not.
Yeah. So that's the process. You go back out, and I would assume take pictures after the wet flood planning is done, take those exterior pictures and call it a day. If we're taking the word, and I believe that's what we have to do in this situation, if we take the word of anybody else building an ag-related building in this county, we have to take his word also.
Sure.
And we don't do interior inspections, because there's nothing to say that somebody can build a building down by Hoyt and call it an ag building, and they got cattle, but maybe they're building doohickeys out of steel and marketing them on Facebook Marketplace. We don't have that hierarchy
And
set.
I understand it totally,
Okay.
totally, but in this case, where it was stated it's an ag building, and we specifically know that it's not,
I believe we have
how
to
do
take.
we gotta take him at his word, even though his
believe we
word
do.
was no good when he first put it up.
I think we do, yeah. And Mark,
Okay.
I get where you're coming from, I really
Okay.
do, and it is hard to take somebody's word, but we don't have that, and I don't think it's right to ask their office
No.
to do something that we normally wouldn't do in any other
I
situation.
agree 100% on that.
So
So
therefore
what's
we have.
there again, there's the sticky wicket. What do we do?
So
We
the
just say,
answer,
okay, well, you're good.
You can drive by it.
The answer to the question is, we have to take his word. Because that's what we do. I agree that he may be fooling us and he may do whatever he wants inside that building. But we don't have that process set up, so therefore we have to take his word.
Yep.
I get it. I understand exactly where you're coming from. I really do. But at the end of the day, we have to, if it's a PE and he's got his license, we take his word. And if Mr. Vanderputten says that it's now an ag building, we charge him double for the process, and we take him at his word. Because that's what we're doing with everybody else in this
Yes,
county.
I agree.
And so,
I just want to bring to light that this is not a perfect situation here.
I appreciate that. It's not a good situation, and I really hope that the residents understand that, you know, to be able to be fair with everybody, that's the process we have to be. But, you know, if a commercial building's being built, I would think that they would want that taxed as a commercial building to pay their fair share of property tax. Again, at the end of the day, we don't write legislation, the state of Kansas does, and as long as we have property tax, that's what we have to do. To make it fair across the board for everybody. I don't want anybody thinking that we arbitrarily do anything.
No, I agree 100%. Like I
When
say,
it
I have
comes to
trouble,
that type of thing.
where I have trouble swallowing this is the fact that we were lied to once, and now we're going to take him at his word that, hey, I fixed it. Okay, that's where I have trouble swallowing.
I understand.
And I would have trouble swallowing it with anybody.
You're just noting that.
Yes.
There's,
Yep.
yeah, so I believe that the only thing we can do is get the PE to sign off on it and go from there. I don't know that there's, if you want to talk about additional fines for every day that it's not, I don't know what those fines would be.
I don't think we have anything like that right now, do we?
Well, there is, it's the generic $500.
$100 a day, I don't know.
Yeah, so there is, we do have in the regulations, I believe, something that states we have the authority to waive that. There has to be a balance. I get it, and you know, I'm not here to find somebody to death. I don't agree with his process and the way he went about it. I think it was underhanded. I agree with you. I think it was completely underhanded the way he just built, knowing that he couldn't build there. I get that. See you, Ally.
You got it.
Bye, Alex.
But I'm open to talking about the daily plan if you have some thoughts on that.
Well, I think we need to get to a point where we're actually, going to have a final version.
He hasn't got this done yet,
Yeah.
so.
So-
Yeah, because I just got this done last week.
You know, part of me too, Kate, I'd love to have Mr. Vanderputten sit across from me, because I'd like to look the person in the eye when I talk to him about whether they're sincere or not. But to my knowledge, he has no indication that he wants to come in. Would he like to come in and have a conversation with us about what our ability to find him is? Because we do have the ability. And would he like to have that conversation? Maybe he would voluntarily like to have that conversation.
Well, and that could be part of this letter, is to say, we're going to assess the penalty if you wish to have say on what that is.
I believe I can read a man based on, you know, having a face-to-face much better than I can through a letter. Right? Mark,
I would like that.
so when we get to that point, I think we include that in the letter that we would like to have that individual come in and have the conversation.
Okay.
So with that, I'll just wait to get something from you and then,
This is complete enough that I can take the letter to him, send it all. Okay.
do you want me to send it or are you gonna send it from your
I'll
office?
send it.
Okay, And do you need a PDF or any versions of those?
That might help just to put down.
I will send that to you. So the reappointments for the planning commission and reappointment for board of zoning appeals. The Jonathan Weimer said that he would be interested in being reappointed, so if you all want to take that into consideration. We do have a January meeting, so I don't know when you're going to be reappointing or.
We have a list of those in front of us.
Yeah, she had passed out a list a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
With their-
And everyone except Jonathan had agreed to be reappointed. He was still thinking about it, but now that he has indicated that he wants to be reappointed, then I'm just gonna throw it out there. I will entertain a motion to reappoint all planning board members and zoning appeals, correct? As was presented.
so
Second.
It's been properly moved and second to reappoint all planning board members and zoning appeals members for new terms. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say sign. Motion carried. Okay, so I got a question for you on the resolution.
Yeah,
So there was no problem with them changing I just started reading minutes and gave it to
yeah, the zoning changed to more residential,
Okay,
so they can officially split and sell those parcels without.
okay.
Right now, there was no problem with that one.
And then the meadows, there was a special use permit for the double wide, so we can stay where it's at.
Yeah, we're gonna convert it to, the majority of it as a shop, like a woodworking shop. Keep some finished bedrooms, so it could be used as a seasonal dwelling, place to stay. Mostly it's gonna be a woodworking shop. That's really the only way we could have done it, is by doing a seasonal dwelling on that, since it is a manufactured home.
Okay. So they will be keeping the bathroom and the AC, which I can see keeping the
Yes.
bathroom.
One of the bathrooms, the other bathroom is gonna be converted to dust collection area. The other one was tabled. That was
breakfast.
special use permit in an R3 zoned area for bed and breakfast. For our regulations, it would be something that would require a special use permit. They do have, not sure, it was suggested that they still have an active covenant. I don't know that they have a board for their subdivision. There were some neighbors that did not want to see that happening. Their covenant stated that they could not have any commercial use or multi-family kind of situation, which is what that zoning, the zoning allowed for it, but their covenant restrictions did not allow for that. So.
So you say they tabled it?
They did.
Uh,
They wanted to see a sign off from the neighbors that would be the majority, would not care to have that, or not care if it was there, I guess.
I see here that one of the gentlemen that spoke against it was trying to understand why the county won't enforce the covenants. Now, is that a covenant for an HOA?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
The county doesn't have the authority to enforce covenants for HOA, if I'm understanding
I
correctly.
don't know
Yeah.
if there is an HOA for that one, but the covenant on that one said it expired in 2020 or 2021 and reissued every 5 years. So that's kind of a,
You can have covenants without an HOA, because of the.
But the county still would not have any responsibility for enforcing.
All private enforcement.
Okay,
It is.
so in my recommendation, I said if The planning commission did want to pass it through the county side of it because of the R3 zoning district. That individual would have to sign that waiver saying that, it's on you, essentially, if they do something outside of the covenant.
Well, I'd like to make a point too that it says here subdivision covenants will take precedent over county regulations or not county responsibility. Those covenants can be stricter than the county, but they can't weaken the county regulations, correct? Okay.
So I don't think that we can tell people that no, they can't apply for something, which is, I said we might have an issue with getting this passed because of this covenant, that we couldn't restrict him from applying for it on the county side.
Yeah, that's, I'd say it's more than that. I mean, basically, we're not gonna, if it's zoned, if it's, the action is proper zoning wise, and it violates covenant, then that's not our issue. If we don't submit the approval, then the covenant is going to be enforced by whoever has the right to enforce.
Okay. So then the only thing that you need from us today is for passing the resolution number 2025-26. So we have before us resolution number 2025-26. Which is a resolution changing the zoning to a rural residential district from A. Okay, from A1. This property is commonly known as 9779 S Road in Hoyt. And the Planning Commission did recommend that on a 7-0-1 vote.
To make it 4 10-acre tracts.
Yep. I believe that's what it said in the minutes. Yeah, splitting the property into 4 tracts. Stop.
What's it
I
saying?
what that was, I think it's something.
It's been dropping.
Something about Bluetooth.
It's trying to connect to something.
Bluetooth. Church Bluetooth.
So I'll go ahead and read what we have here. Whereas it appears that under the provisions of Article 33 of the Jackson County zoning regulations, Donald
Rencher.
Jr. of DEH Incorporated requested a change of zoning district to RR, Rural Residential District, on the following described property, and I will not go into the full description, but it is commonly known as 9779 S Road in Hoyt, Kansas. Whereas the Jackson County Planning Commission, after advertising and holding a public hearing on subject application on the 11th day of December 2025, submitted the following report and recommendation to the Board of County Commissioners. Jackson County Planning Commission recommended by a vote of 7-0-1 that requested zoning change be approved with 1 member abstaining. Zoning change from A1 General Agricultural District to RR Rural Residential District. So I would entertain a motion to approve this resolution 2025-26.
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve resolution 2025-26, approving the zoning change. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
If there's covenants in this subdivision, wouldn't that be on each person's deed when they bought it too?
Several of them said that they never received that.
That's what I read that, so that's what I wondered too.
Well,
There's
it could
a plan.
be, it could be filed separately. So it's just,
This is one that had it on the plat itself. Some of them aren't included on that, but this one was. And there was a question too, if it's on that plat and the elected officials and planning commission sign off on that plat, that why aren't they being held to enforce that?
Well, I mean, all the plat does is, I mean, for the county, this is just divide the property. You know, there's easements on there for utilities too, and we don't enforce those. So, I mean, I don't think that makes a difference.
Yeah, that's what I thought, like, I'm saying, I thought, it's not like they're signing off on covenants and stuff. I mean, you know, when the clerk signs off on it, they're checking that there's no taxes due on anything on the whole thing and stuff.
And typically under the covenant, like that one had the developer or the landowner's signature under that at the time.
We
And
basically had one person saying they didn't want it, and one person said they didn't care on that.
yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Who
two
voted no?
said that they didn't want it, but actually spoke. Two came in and signed after the public hearing part of that was closed, and after that it was tabled, they came and signed the sign-in sheet that we made note of that.
Okay, yeah.
One of them did not want it, the other one did not.
Let it Jonathan abstain.
I don't
That
know.
wasn't Jonathan, it was Jason.
Jason. Somebody abstained, I don't remember who.
It says Jonathan.
That says
I don't
Jason
know.
Bertie abstained from the vote on the back page. Where you seeing?
Okay, but you're on different ones.
Somebody
We're on
abstained
one, two different
from.
ones.
Jonathan abstained from the
Richard.
original.
Oh, Jonathan abstained on the,
I don't know, do they have to say why they abstained from?
I'm just curious if you say that.
No.
The new approval letter on those is okay, well, before I send them out.
and so then when you get this, send this out to them, because it's already been approved, then do you go over to the register of deeds office and have them put that with the deed, or how do you do that?
On this, we just keep a file of it.
Okay,
I mean, we have our permanent file on zoning,
okay,
and it just gets put on that property. It's put
Okay.
on that property.
perfect, thank you.
Yeah, we have a lot of special uses that aren't filed with the register of deeds.
Okay,
The only ones that are at this point are the private cemeteries. Those are the ones that have something filed.
okay.
Hold on there. 13193, 206 Road.
What was that?
13193, 206 Road. Willcott. You sent me this. I think I got you sent me stuff and then you sent me a letter.
Oh, yeah.
Sean Wilcott.
Oh, yeah.
I guess I want to figure out what the response to this is, because I mean, it's close to a flood zone. Is it a flood zone?
No,
Probably.
that building is not.
Oh, okay. So I'm trying to track what you're saying. You're saying you're still wanting the zoning permit.
Zoning compliance application.
Okay. Well,
In other words, he built a building, an ag building,
Yeah.
and didn't get a building permit for it.
Right.
And he's stating that he doesn't understand, he doesn't believe that anywhere in the regulations it would require him to.
I never,
That's
from
he
what
said.
I took from it, he doesn't believe that we have the authority to do any kind of building permits or anything.
well,
That's
and
what I took.
well, let's back up here, because that's the question is, I mean, is there a separate building permit? I mean,
No, it's a zoning compliance application.
that's the only, if you build something, the only thing you have to get, if you build a house, all you have to get is a zoning compliance.
Which is a building permit.
Well, some would differ with that,
Okay.
because a building permit would usually be issued by like a city that with building codes, right?
So,
County, if
so
they
the
have
terminology is not
compliance.
the correct terminology.
That's why I am trying to say zoning compliance application. I mean, in order to build, you still need to do
Okay.
the zoning compliance permit.
That's the terminology that we.
Well, that's what we're looking at is, I'm trying to remove things from my review here because I didn't see anything that said anything other than the zoning compliance. And then we're talking about whether or not there's, because of the ag building exception. Okay, so you don't need one for a agricultural building. Or you're saying you did.
I'm saying we do, because our office needs to be able to review that application to make sure, one, it's not in the floodplain. And that's the big one.
Yeah.
In that it does meet setbacks, where if somebody actually determines, or our office determines that it is an ag building, because that was the first letter, is who is determining that? Because if everybody just self-determines that it's an ag building, then that's kind of an issue.
So how do we go about determining that? We need your
Their
office.
use. So when
So
they
you
come
ask
in,
questions. Walk through.
yeah,
so
what
walk-
are you using it for? What are you storing in it? If it's a smaller building and it has small doors and they're saying it's an ag building, okay, what kind of ag building? Is it a shop to repair your equipment? Do they have big doors that they can get big equipment into? I mean, is it,
So that's the
is it grain
application would
storage?
be
I mean,
the
that,
the
yeah,
launch point for that
Yeah.
required because if they have it's a Home Depot shed and say I'm gonna run my combine out of it, it's not sure.
so determining the use.
Okay, well, then I just have to see how that connects up with what's stated in the code. I think he's asking the specific questions. What in the, you have an exception, and I understand your chicken and egg, how do you know the exception applies? Does he have to make application even if it's starts out, it turns out to be an egg? And is the code specific enough to say?
Well, that exception also has in there, does not apply in the floodplain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But it does state that you have to have a building compliance permit filled out on every building over a certain square footage.
Doesn't have anything to do with square footage, period. There's nothing in there about square footage, minimums, nothing like that.
yeah, that's why I'm trying to make sure the code's clear about what we're talking about, right? And if there needs to be more clarity, then let's address it, because at the very least, he's saying, if properly chose, an exception. And it's just whether you get to access the exception before the permit or the application is done. Just like you said, hey, if you don't have a regular building permit process, then this is what we're imposing.
Okay, so I'm not following you. So you're saying the zoning compliance permit is not sufficient?
No, it may be worded such that it is not clear that an exception avoids the need for the application. Right?
It makes it really vague when it has that exception in there for agricultural use, and then it has anybody have their zoning regs that I can
Got it right here.
Where's it at?
Well, right here he's stating that he's gone through Jackson County ordinances and looked into statutes and cannot find anything that requires me to complete and submit the requested document for a building permit of an agricultural building. So that's the first thing I think we need to address right there and make sure that it is in there, that he has to, and it's, it's cut and dry. There's no getting around it.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
Something that,
This is the exception right here, it says, right there. But who determines that? I mean,
Well, that should be
The average
your
person,
office that
right.
determines that,
The
not,
average
not
person
as
doesn't
he
know.
states, the individual.
that they can get onto a map and check the FEMA layer and see where their building is in a floodplain or not. Or do they know their setbacks?
Right.
I mean,
Well, that's the bigger key right here to me is the setbacks and everything. You know, that is for your office to determine, not the individual landowner, the individual putting up the building. That is for the county appraiser zoning office to determine.
we have the discussion with people that are doing ag buildings that because we don't enforce setbacks on ag buildings, it is we recommend that you follow the setbacks on this building, because if it ever that property gets split off and you have this building that is no longer going to be an ag building, it can be a garage, well, it doesn't meet the setbacks and it's going to be in violation. So we always recommend plan for the future on this building and its use and do the setbacks. Otherwise, it could be an issue.
Why do you not force setbacks on a paper?
Because of this ag exception.
There's an ag exception that
are
allows.
we in 35, is that section?
It's right towards the front. It's
Section
after-
5, 14, page 17 and 18 is where we're at.
I'm looking at 30. Each site, section 35, article 35.
I mean, it still comes down to the fact that all buildings in the county require a building permit, correct?
Wait,
That's- That's what I have always known. That there's no fee for an ag building. We still have to make sure that one, they're not building on somebody's property line, or that they're building it on their property, that they're not building in a floodplain, you know.
Yeah.
What page?
What's the age?
18.
17 and 18. 18's got the exception on it.
This is, I mean, you're titling this application of regulations. It says the following structures and uses shall be exempt from the provision of these regulations. So what does these regulations mean? Everything,
A, B, C, D, and E?
well, everything, meaning in agricultural structures are in there. So are agricultural structures all exempt from provisions of these regulations?
Except in the floodplain.
Yeah, but you still have said it's a full exception, meaning exemption, when it should have been, if after review is determined that it's, and it says in 35, buildings used for single-family purposes and exclusively for agricultural purposes shall be exempt from occupancy certificate requirements. So it's called a certificate of zoning compliance and occupancy permit required. Are those two separate things?
Those are two separate
The
things.
the occupancy, their zoning compliance application for those structures also doubles as the occupancy certificate.
There's-
Not so on, like commercial structures and all of that.
Would you ever give an occupancy permit without the zoning compliance? I mean, we got a zoning
No.
compliance. Okay. Well, I guess how do you, so you can obtain a zoning compliance for like commercial building, it's not even documented. Well, I think unless anybody else has any thoughts, the thing I've got to do is figure out the answer to this question, because it does seem like whether the exception is such that it operates the way that you suggested, which means that they're accepted from the code. I get your point, but how do you know? But I don't see reservation setbacks there. So you have an agricultural property, you put an ag building on it. If they're accepted from this fully, then how do you impose setbacks?
And why was that, well, you're not gonna know, none of us know why that was put in there. I mean,
And it may be just the case that that's the wording wrong, you guys, if that's not what you intended or what you intend now, then it needs to be changed. But, because it's just one of those things, it was worded, how it was worded, but you guys didn't, whenever you did it, weren't tracking. It is the idea you always sell that they are charged for it, but this would suggest they're not supposed to be regulated by it. So. Yeah.
Okay, so at the end of the day, you've got to come up with, make sure that what we actually have in here will stand up. Because Sean may be right,
Yeah,
okay?
I think he's
And if he is, and he does have a point, that would dictate what we're doing on the 300 or 400.
Which we're only down to like 70 something.
Left, okay? Which would indicate what we need to do with some of those, correct?
Yeah, because not all of those were ag.
Correct,
Things.
yeah, no,
If
I
they
get it.
did come in, they weren't charged.
Yeah. He's a-
So, okay, so we're moving on, or?
Yeah, I've got the answers I wanted.
So, I have a couple of things I'd like to just ask and get you guys' thoughts on. One would be, instead of requiring people to come up with this whole building material and cost, right? Can we simplify it by just saying, we're gonna charge you 20 cents per square foot a night? That's what the building permit's gonna cost. Boom. The 2,200 square foot times 0.20, there's your cost. Let's move on down the road.
Basically what you're doing right now, I mean,
No, it isn't.
we're charging you so much per $100, per $1,000, I forget what it was, like a
That's it.
Cost.
garage.
But they have to come up with a list and a value, right? A list of building permits.
What's problematic with that?
Problematic being that if somebody doesn't know what a 2x4 costs, what do you tell them?
If they're coming in for a building permit,
Uh-huh.
wouldn't they have an idea of what that structure is gonna cost to build?
Yes.
They may. What I'm trying to do is simplify it. So
That doesn't simplify it for our office, I'm sorry.
why is that?
Because when I'm putting a replacement cost new, I need to know like what that structure costs new. That doesn't mean it's gonna not depreciate out quickly, but that helps me set a, okay, what's the quality on this structure? I mean, that's very helpful on the appraisal side.
So charging, and again, I'm just at the building permit. If somebody comes in and they want a building permit and we have to determine what that building permit's gonna cost them for a non-agricultural building, you're saying that, telling them 20 cents per square foot. Hand me a check, you get going.
But I don't.
Because at some point, if somebody says, I don't know what this building, I'm building it myself, or, I mean, have you ever built a building?
Yeah, I built my garage myself.
Okay, so what I'm trying to do is simplify it, and I don't see how it complicates.
But if you're, okay, here's my.
Don, I'm
Okay,
asking
yes,
Kate.
yes, Kate, then I'll give you my.
How it complicates?
Yeah, how does that complicate the
Oh, okay,
situation?
so the process would make it easier for the owner.
Okay, that's a good thing.
Okay, that's absolutely a great thing. It does not, it complicates it for us. So
Okay.
if somebody comes in and says that they're building a new garage and this garage is 40 by 60, and they tell me they're building it for $5,000,
Okay.
it has a concrete floor and all of this. By my experience,
Mhm.
that is highly unlikely.
Okay.
So if we're requiring them to have a little proof of that with a bid, then that's
But
helpful.
most people are not getting bids. If they're building it themselves, they're not getting a bid.
I've built a lot of things and I always get an estimate of what it's gonna cost for me to build it.
I don't. I mean, if I'm building it myself, I have a pretty good idea of what it's gonna cost, and I'm gonna go to the lumber store and I'm gonna buy the lumber and
Because
I'm
you've
gonna
built
build it.
enough buildings before to know that, yes, this size of building is gonna cost this much.
Okay, So,
I
I'm not trying to
I
be
guess I don't understand what the problem is people being as honest as possible in that
I don't have a
process.
problem with them being as honest as possible, but if we're telling people, you don't know what that's costing, so go get a bid somewhere. Go to Menards, go to wherever, are we telling people to do that?
If they're gonna get their stuff from Menards, or they're gonna get their stuff from Home Depot, they have building packages, systems that they can use. It's very simple to do. I can do it in 15 minutes.
Online here, sitting right here now.
You can, but what I'm saying is just for the building permit, if we simplify that process by 20 cents a square foot, and that's what it is, and you get your zoning compliance permit and you go build it, and you look at it, you're telling me that the values of building a garage, when you look at it, if it's a painted garage, you don't just value it like a like item?
Did they
So
go in
there's a
for
lot
check?
that
I
go
mean,
into a
I
building.
mean,
I can only hear one of you.
I guess, so what you're saying is, they're gonna build it out of 2x4s or 2x6s. How does she know that when she goes in? Because she
Why
can't
does
go
she
in
need to know?
for
I
value of
absolutely
the
need to
building.
know. I absolutely need to know. That's the quality of
That's the
construction.
quality of the building.
I have to believe there's a simpler way, and I bring this up not to be controversial. I bring it up because there are counties that are doing this.
We used to do that.
And Sedgwick County is one of them. Sedgwick County charges per building permit 20 cents per square foot. If you come in and you say this is what it's going to cost, or this is how many square feet it is, I just want us to explore, is there a simpler way to do this process without requiring, I'll give you an example. If I'm remodeling and I'm doing this myself, I can guess at the number based on, and tell you that I think it's going to cost $35,000.
We're talking two different things, though, correct?
Why is that?
Because I'm not gonna come get a building permit if I'm remodeling my bathroom. Am I? Am I required to do that?
No.
Okay, so we're talking two different things here. The
If I'm
remodeling is
going to
completely,
build a garage
okay,
and I'm going to post frame it,
right?
I'm going to guess that it's going to cost me X number of dollars. I'm not going to go out and get an
So
official
sure.
bid.
There you go. You're gonna guess it's gonna cost you X amount of dollars. You go to Kate's office, how much is it gonna be? $2,500. There you go. That's what it's gonna be.
Okay.
Because I'm guesstimating that that's what it's gonna be.
And what I'm saying is, we're requiring people to write it down. We used 18 2x4s, we used 64 sheets.
I don't,
Oh,
we
that's
don't,
good.
we don't
No,
go that
You don't want a list.
We don't go that extreme.
Okay, so you're okay with somebody saying it's gonna be $12,000. You don't go, I don't believe you.
I don't do that.
Well, that's what I'm
I don't
asking.
say, I
How
don't
do we-
believe you.
Okay,
Okay.
but you say based on your judgment, I don't think you can build it for $12,000.
I ask them very important questions, and then they tell me. So if it's, like I said, a 40 by 60 or whatever, and they're building it, and I say, does that include the concrete? Well, no. Okay, so what's the concrete?
And I don't have a problem with asking about the concrete and those types of things.
I know, but in order for me to get a good idea of what this structure actually is
Okay.
in its entirety,
Okay?
because we've had many that are the Schauses. I'm just going to use this as an example.
Sure.
That they say the building is $100,000
Okay.
to build this house. Okay? And they pay for a $100,000 building permit. We'll come to find out it's much more than that because that didn't include all of the finish work inside. So that's where kind of all of it was mainly with houses
Okay. So if they tell you it's going to cost $100,000
for
to
the
build it,
building,
okay,
that structure, but not all the interior.
but don't you have the ability to ask that question?
So we could have a very long drawn out, check the box, check the box, check the box of everything that goes in this project. we could do that, which that would still take them time. I mean, these are qualifying questions, and by requiring floor plans or bids, we're a lot more lax on ag buildings, right? Because if they're building it themselves, they can sketch out some simple plan, like this is what we're doing, it's post-frame construction. You know, we have all of that on the application itself. That's not a big deal. Require that they're supposed to do a site plan with details on it. They don't. We don't really require as much of that. We print off a map, and as long as they're meeting their setbacks and all that, all is well. It's problematic with houses. That's where I see the major issue with. I need as much information on that house as possible. Because if somebody's saying that they're putting $100,000 into it, and it's really a $400,000 structure because of the quality of the
Based on
stuff.
cost or what you value it at?
I want you to understand
Real
the process,
question, so,
the process of valuing it. If I have an idea of what they spent on it, if they built it themselves, and I have to factor in, okay, what would labor have cost them on that? Because that's going to be included in their value. They have some equity built up by building it themselves. That would be for any structure,
Okay.
right?
Right.
There's value to the labor that they put into it. Is it as high as a custom woodwork builder? Probably not. So their value is not going to be as high. But I need that replacement cost new as close to the cost of the building materials with labor as I can possibly get, to be fair. Right? I'm trying to value everybody fairly across the board. And if somebody's telling me that they're building this house for $100,000 and it's really a $400,000 house because we don't require anything more than how much are you spending on it.
I'm not saying we don't require it. What I'm saying is just for the zoning compliance permit, to make it a simpler process, we charge by the square foot. Not based on, and then the next piece of that would be, can we just ask them to fill out a sheet that says, what are your finishes like and some of those types of things? Or you can stand there and ask them the questions.
I'm not always around to ask them all.
And so therefore, if we have a sheet that they can say, you know, it's gonna cost me $100,000, I got I bought cabinets at Rehab Center in Topeka and paid $700 for them.
So then we're back in the same boat.
When it's a new structure, don't you go out to it?
We don't go
Somebody-
inside. We
Yeah.
don't
Yeah, new
inspect,
structure, you know?
we don't inspect the inside unless it's a neighborhood revitalization.
Okay.
Right? So we don't get to see those finishes, and that's why that cost new is so critical to know what kind of quality is going into that house. You may have a house that's very straight and looks like an ag building, but they have put some really nice fixtures and features in it, and that raises the quality of that house.
So in that process, do you ask at some point, will you be finishing the inside of this building?
Well, the application part is, are you doing a dwelling?
And dwelling, define, that's what I'm saying. Dwelling just seems fairly,
No, it's, are you
does the
living in it?
general
Is it a structure
public,
that you
but
live in?
does the general public understand dwelling? I guess what, the
They
whole
can
reason
say
behind this
house,
is
they can write on their house.
house, but how are you, will the inside have a kitchen? Will that inside have how many bedrooms? Those types of things in that questionnaire. Can that, I mean, is that on there?
Questionnaire, it's the application.
Questionnaire, application,
Well, it's the application, and it's very simple, it's a one-page deal.
okay.
I mean, we can go page after page of, check the box if it has this.
Does that not work for, do you not get true information then off of it? In order to value what it is? If I come in and apply for a building permit, a zoning compliance permit, and I say it's 1,000 square foot, and I fill out the application, and I pay 20 cents per square foot, and I fill out this application, can you not tell what it's made from off that application?
No, there's a lot more details that I need.
That's my point.
So that's why I'm like, I need a floor plan
But where does it say that?
in the instructions.
Okay, so you give them some
The
instructions,
instructions
allow
have it
them to
all,
fill that out,
all laid out,
okay?
all the items that are needed.
Okay. I still don't see, if you're asking them all those questions in that packet, why we,
Well, no, it's, they have to submit it. It's not asking them every single detailed question about what's going into their house. So, I mean, you've seen the application and the instructions. That's what it is. So that basically
how can
submits
you
me.
not determine it based on that application? What other information, you have to stand there and ask them further information? Or you get it all from
I
there?
wish I had an example of an application with a dwelling. So if somebody says that they're building a house, they say dwelling. We say number of bathrooms, they say 2. Number of half baths, they say whatever.
Right.
Okay, so they say they spent, and this is why we require so much more, is because somebody says, I'm spending $100,000 on this house.
Okay.
Okay, 3 bedroom, 2 bath.
Okay. You're
So-
saying it's not possible?
That is possible.
And Kate, I don't want to be confrontational over this. I'm just saying, let's have the conversation of how we can simplify that. And at the end of the day, we're still just taking people's word based on what they're filling out, right?
So if you require a little bit more qualifying information on a structure, you're less likely to get people saying, I'm just spending $100,000 on this structure.
So on a dwelling, something somebody's going to live in, you can ask those questions. But if it's a garage, and I put down on the permit or the application that it's going to be a garage, where it's just going to be a shop.
The shop, and they say they're putting a bathroom in it. Those are pretty easy, okay? I'm talking about dwellings that are gonna require market modeling, that are gonna require proper valuing based on replacement cost new with labor, that I need more information to be fair
From them.
and equitable.
From them.
Yes, from them. Most counties are gonna probably require a floor plan if they have,
And I don't have a problem with the floor plan.
okay, so that does tell me a lot. That's
But-
what I need.
Okay.
So,
But that still doesn't tell me why you can't just charge so much a square foot.
okay. But I still need more information.
Okay.
So the information that's required in those instructions would be the floor plan. A bid is actually good on a dwelling. That tells me if they're building it themselves or if they are subcontracting and they still have labor fees in there. That tells me a lot. I have analysis that I have to do on replacement cost new, like cost of building materials. So that helps with that analysis. You know, those forms that I send out to people after they build their homes, well, I don't get those back very often. So
that's a whole other thing. Or, I mean, why send them out if we don't ever get them back? I mean,
because I have to make the attempt.
yeah.
Okay, there are requirements that I have to show that I'm making an attempt to get this information.
Are there other ways that we can simplify this process? Again, you know, we've talked about the square footage of, you know, could it be 750 square feet? You don't need anything for it.
I mean, if you're wanting to reduce the fees, is that what it is? I mean,
I'm
what's
wanting to simplify the fee process because not everybody, I can walk in and I can fill out an application. I can tell you it's going to cost me $20,000 to build this structure. And I can say that's what it's going to cost me and that's what you're going to take. Right?
Okay, yeah.
Right. I mean, if that's what I put on there, that's what you're going to take.
Yes.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Okay? So why aren't we just we can ask some questions in the permit, and people normally fill that out, right?
What kind of questions would you like
You've
to
already,
ask them?
you're already asking them, and you're getting the information. What I'm saying is,
But that needs to be in writing. That needs to be something that we can track back 2 years down the road after they've done, and they're done with that structure.
let's keep the conversation going. I just think there's better ways to do this. You know,
I want to know maybe what's the solution? How do you want to see it simplified?
I want to see it simplified by, I think just charging by the square foot is a great way to do that because it makes it simple. When
Okay.
somebody comes in to do that. But I also think, you know, figuring out what do other counties do? Do they do this same process or are there other counties?
There are fee schedules, and when we changed the fee
What is-
schedule, that I went to other counties to see what their fees were.
What does Sedgwick County do when it comes to, you know, building permits? What information are they asking? So I'd like to just continue to research some of this.
Just a framing element. I mean, your goal in this is to get evaluations for actually taxing. Right?
Value it.
Yes, value. Your desire is just to get, I mean, the permit fee is an administrative cost for everybody in your office's time to do whatever they're going to do. So that's why it has to be related to square footage as a rough estimate of your time. It's still, I mean, the unanswered question is how much information do you need to have to evaluate appropriately? That really doesn't have anything to do with how much it
The
costs.
building permit.
But, yeah, for
For
fees.
Application.
So a fee could be, just what you said, and you're covering your guys' time because it expands based on square footage. But as best you can do. So I'm thinking that the fee discussion is kind of over here.
I would agree.
And then the real question being, how much information do you need and how do we force that to get
Correct.
that?
What are we requiring of the public to do to get that information?
Because your fee reduction alone doesn't simplify it. If you ask
It
7,000 questions.
It's really not 7,000 questions.
Well, I know, I'm just saying.
It would be 7,000 questions if I had to ask them every single thing that a simple floor plan could tell me.
So is that on the application?
Yes.
Then there you
It's in
go.
the instructions, it's not on the application, it's in the instructions.
So there you go. If that's something that you're requiring is a floor plan, and somebody brings you that, do not most people bring that in?
Well, they do now because we require it.
Okay. So you're already getting that information then?
Yes.
Okay. So there's no reason we can't look at changing the fee structure. And if you have the floor plan, and you know through their application they've said it's going to have concrete. Okay. Good
Well,
idea.
no, okay, if you want that kind of detail,
Isn't that already in there? Aren't you already asking
no.
that in the application?
the application is 1 page long. It does not have what kind of foundation does it have, what kind of siding are you gonna have. It doesn't have any of those details at all.
Okay.
So the reason we require the bid, that gives me a good indicator on quality or,
Let's.
I think your problem is the bid.
Yeah, it is 100%. Because if I'm going to build a building and then I'm going to build all the walls on the inside of it and do it myself, I'm not going to go get a bid from somebody. I'm not going to call up Bob's builder and say, "Come give me a bid, drive out here. What's it going to cost to do this?" Because I'm wasting his time. I'm going to look at the wall structure that I'm going to use. I'm going to figure that up. I know what a 2-to-6 costs. I know what a 2-to-4 roughly costs. And I'm going to calculate that up. I'm going to say I'm going to be able to finish this for about $30,000.
Okay, so we have a really simple spreadsheet that we send people
Okay.
that has framing, HVAC, rough and plumbing,
There you
rough and
go.
electrical. We have that
Okay.
we send to people
Okay.
to keep it very simple for them.
Perfect. But asking people to go get a bid is what
And that's where I think you're missing the point. I don't think that
I'm
they
not
are
missing the
asking
point.
people to go get a bid. They want a guesstimate of what's gonna cost.
They are.
If they have a bid,
Mhm.
simple, submit that.
Okay,
If they
but
have
you're not
bid,
asking people to go get a bid.
when we have recommended to people
Mhm.
that they can get a Menards bid or their Home Depot, they can submit that. We don't tell them, you need to go get them. We give them suggestions.
Okay,
And we've also created this spreadsheet that says, these are the primary parts to a structure.
Okay.
Okay, it's very simple, it's a one-page thing that they can fill out. We can print it, it's Excel, they can fill it out themselves and submit it back. I mean,
Okay.
we try and make it as simple as possible, but all of those details help.
but if there are people that are saying, I have to get a bid, and it's not being, excuse me, if that simplicity is not coming through at the public level, where's the disconnect? And I've run into this in things that I do. How do we make the verbiage or the wording or the process simpler so people do have an understanding? Because when we do it every day, it seems second nature
It's
to us.
communication, people just need to give us a call. I mean, I guess I don't understand. They're expecting to know this process all on their own. I
No,
wouldn't expect that.
that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, how do we make sure that when we communicate across the desk in your office or anywhere else, that people understand the language that we're using makes sense to them?
It's a matter of communication with people.
Okay?
If they call and they're confused about something or they don't understand, we're gonna try and work through that. We wanna make that process easy for everyone. That's why we created that spreadsheet, that if they don't have a bid, that they're doing it themselves, here's this spreadsheet, this will help you
Okay?
in this process as well. I mean, I guess I don't understand, are people like really like not understanding what,
I think that the process can be confusing for some people who don't do this every day. And are we coming across in a way that, talking in layman's terms and not using acronyms and not using, terminology that maybe they go, oh, well, I think I understand what she means by that. But if somebody says, it would be helpful if you had a bid, okay, now I gotta go find somebody to come out and give me a bid.
I think that we're mixing things up here as far as I can see, because if you're gonna have somebody do it for you, you're gonna have a bid on it, right? Can we agree on that?
If somebody's gonna do it, yeah.
Okay, but if I'm gonna do it myself, and most people that I know that are going to do it themselves, they're not gonna walk in and say, I don't know, maybe a couple $100. They're gonna actually know beforehand, and I'm gonna know beforehand what it's gonna cost me to do this. So I'm gonna walk in and say, I'm guesstimating it's gonna be 10 grand is what I need to put this up.
I would agree.
So they're not asking for a bid, they're asking for a guesstimate of what it's gonna be. Now, when I put the garage up with the large kit, well, I had it right there, boom, 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 there you go, that's it. But if I'm just gonna do it myself, if I build another woodshed, I'm not gonna go get a Menards thing, I'm just gonna do it myself, and I'm gonna guesstimate what it's gonna be, and I'm gonna go tell them what it's gonna be. I really think that we're making a mountain out of a molehill here. But we've got a process in place that works.
Okay.
So I'm trying to find where the disconnect is. I still haven't heard where the disconnect is. Have you had somebody come and say, this process is too complicated?
It is, yes, I have. And so it makes me think, is there a way to make this process simpler for the general public when they come into the office so that they understand what is expected of them? Are we fully communicating that? Because again, when you do it every day, you know exactly what you know, right?
Sure.
But to the individual who is out here going to build something, and I don't know what they're talking about.
Then you're running into the same things with the square footage of it. Walk into the office and you say, well, I need to put a building up. Well, how big is it? I don't know. Maybe 30 by 30, maybe 30 by 40. I don't know what I'm going to build yet. Then how do you figure the square footage on that?
Well, Mark, it's easy enough to say, how big is your building?
And that's what I said. So, I don't know, 30 by 30, 30 by 40. I made up my mind.
So then I say pick one.
But that's,
And then it comes out 30 by 40 or 30 by 60 or whatever in the end. That's, we've seen that too, where they say they're building this and it's much larger when we go out, which, okay, it happens,
It does.
you know.
So what do you do in those cases?
We put it on at the size that it is.
There you go.
That's what I'm saying. It's not that complicated and we're not that difficult to work with.
I didn't say you were
You've come in.
difficult to
You've
work
come
with.
in for a building permit.
I have.
Was it complicated?
There are portions of that,
Did we help you work through it?
yeah,
That's our goal in everything, is
I understand.
we're gonna help people regardless. We want as much information as we can possibly get, so we're assessing things fairly, right? And we're putting them on correctly. That's always the goal. We want things to be correct. I'm a stickler for details. I want everything correct, if possible, right? I want as much information about the inside of structures as possible. That helps me value it.
And you get
And this, and I get that it's two separate things, but we're one office and that's,
We can continue
That's
the
what I do.
conversation later. I just wanted to ask the question, if you were familiar with ever doing that.
yeah, it's always our goal to help people and not make it complicated. So if it does seem complicated to somebody, we wanna make it easy for them. And people can always call and we'll walk them through it.
Did you say it had been done that way before?
In Sedgwick County.
Which,
Like what Keith said, you said the fee structure had been changed.
we go over here when we
The
change
fee
fee
structure,
schedule.
Just,
but not the structure.
Yeah.
okay, I misunderstood.
So, I think, it's been a while, some of the old permits were a very generic $25 permit. Back in the day. You know, very simple, no information, oh, it's a dwelling. Well, turns out it was a manufactured home. I mean, it was so simple, it was
Yeah.
a little problematic.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I've had people say, this county just trying to make more money.
Again, sometimes if we don't have the conversation and stretch ourselves a little bit, we never find an answer, we just continue with the status quo. That's my whole goal for having this conversation. If I'm getting phone calls, maybe we need to have the conversation. I'm not trying to be combative, I'm not trying to say you don't do a good job. That's not why I bring this up. I'm saying, are we thinking differently in exploring? Is there always a way to make things easier for the community to build something and simplify the process? And if we don't ever have the conversation, it won't ever get done because we'll just continue to follow. It sounds like we've got to figure out whether we can even have the authority to do anything with building permits because of the way it's written. Yeah. So we've got to figure that out. Thank you. Still friends.
All right, anything else, Kate?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Go ahead.
This is, I just need a break.
Be great.
No, this is denied. We can't do that. We can't have this.
And that's, what we discussed about Kate and Carol, Carol.
So since you hired me, you're all good with this.
one of the things we learned at the breakout conference was people say why, and the speaker said, don't ask why, ask why not. Why can't we do this, or why can't we, why not? Why not look at it? Why not do this,
Or if you
So
have a why, do you have a how?
that comes through the why not. So you research it. So they used a great example of a little community in Kansas where they were known for art, but nobody wanted to stop in this little town because there was no public bathroom, and nobody would, in these little art shops, nobody would let these hundreds of tourists that were coming in use their bathroom. So they said, well, why not? So they sent out something around the country to other artists and said, this is what we're trying to do. They created one of those and got funding, private funding, for the coolest looking bathroom you've ever seen. And now they have this public restroom that is a piece of artwork. And it all started with, why not? And
What town was that?
like Lions maybe, or it's a little dinky.
Small thing.
I've heard about that.
That was-
Restroom, I've heard about that.
The entrance into it looks like, if you stand back and look at it, because it's fairly large, you go, that's a toilet seat. Oh, that's the back of the toilet. And it's just the coolest thing, and as you walk down the sidewalk, it curves over into a roll of concrete toilet paper. That was their whole purpose, and now hundreds, if not thousands of people come to that community
Right.
just
Bathroom?
to see the
Just to
bathroom,
see
but
that.
then all of a sudden now the little coffee shop has
Lucas.
lots of business.
There
Lucas
you
business.
go,
There you go.
Yeah, I've heard all that.
Why not? Oh, these are for me to sign, sorry. There you go.
Do you foresee any trouble on either of the applications for next month? Number one, just one.
What is it again? Sorry?
The porch that you put on is like
No.
36 inches too far or something. Am I getting the letter on that one?
Huh?
Am I getting the letter on that one? On this one? I am?
Probably.
Alright.
Not
I
compliant.
might have to go voice my opinion on telling them,
No,
you
they
gotta cut it
can,
off.
they can do a variance up to half, right? So
Yeah,
you need me for anything else.
Happy hours later.
You do, right?
we can come back in tonight and sit in the meeting if you want.
No, sir. No,
Thanks, Kate.
thanks.
See you, Kate.
Did you sign
Thank
off the vacation for it again?
You wanna sign off on that? Wanna deny me? Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
See you later.
Good?
Anything else from you?
No, I discovered myself, so.
So you're gonna figure out if we need to change something, and then if what we have isn't valid, then we're gonna have to change it.
Yep. I'll do the question today.
Will. See you Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. Not this
Tomorrow night.
Is it? I thought it was 23rd.
Is it? I'll double check.
Jackson one, you're freaking me out, man, because I'm triple up there. I'm already trying to figure out my double up.
I thought it was 16th, but maybe it is the 23rd. The day before Christmas, or 2 days before.
No, we do the raging up to tonight, so.
Fourth Tuesday or third Tuesday?
I'll double check.
Gosh, oops. Complicated.
Alright, anything else come before us today?
No, I don't think so.
Alright, good discussion today, guys, really appreciate it.
Give me some time and I'll come up with something.
Hey, we can all come up with something. Hey, we're not gonna move forward unless we have the discussion, so,
That's right.
I don't, there's nothing wrong with these discussions whatsoever. I appreciate having them because,
Why
And
not?
it could be simplified.
It just leads to better understanding, better communication.
I
So,
So tonight's meeting, 6 o'clock,
6
back
o'clock.
here.
Yep.
Do we think we're gonna need to set up across the way? Do we have enough people? We did last time for the banner, but,
if we do, we move across the hall.
okay. Okay.
Anything catering, you're gonna have to leave it good.
Good, okay.
I mean, like I say, if they have a bunch of them show up, then we'll just move across the hall and do that.
So maybe give Pat a bug in his ear that we may.
I can
Thanks,
tell
Todd.
you to do that.
See ya. All right, sounds good. Well, if there's nothing else coming for us today, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So.
Second.
Been probably been seconded twice, too. Adjourn this meeting. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. See you guys tonight at 6 o'clock.